Good morning, people of Gaia. I have some dates for you. Next weekend is Prelude 2, which focuses on Omni endgames and how they drove the overall decision-making of these two half-cetra, which led to much of the phenomena experienced at the altar. The following weekend will be Ending Explained Deep Dive 5. If the first prelude is the triumph of the mortal perspective, and the next prelude is the loneliness of the omni perspective, this intermission is the sadness of our perspective, helplessly watching as mortals with unfair cosmic fates make hard decisions among unimaginably vast universal cogs and forces. Aerith knew what she was doing when she walked away from her friends and walked away from her own life. She knew what she was doing when she was praying, waiting for the sword stroke, alone. No one expected Cloud to be at the altar by her side. What he did is impossible, twice over. Nor is it likely Aerith fully envisioned all the vagaries of Genovaroth's planned little push for his cosmic opposite. A dark singularity called reunion, a second one-winged angel, wrought upon something terrifying enough to elicit this masked whisper response. But then, no one, not even omni beings, can see everything. You do the best you can with what you have. Life and death happen, sometimes suddenly. Yet relative to an incredibly enlightened and loving awareness, Miss Gainsborough knew what she was doing. She demonstrated her raw capabilities and vast perception in the coming interdimensional battle against a transcendent, insane, dark god. Genovaroth would know the taste of defeat, and a dauntless hero named Zack Fair lives on, as does that avatar of creation. There aren't words to fully express the acidic pang at this revelation. Aerith was not blindly walking into a trap that she needed saving from. She is not to be underestimated. Words fail, but there is a poem that touches upon this tragic doom quite elegantly, written by a soldier in World War I who died in that war. It's a poem about the inevitability of death and how one chooses to meet this brutal inevitability. In Remake and Rebirth, Aerith had a second chance at life, and in the unknown journey, she innocently and exuberantly enjoyed this. But that doom, that rendezvous, relentlessly approached and consumed it. Is also a poem about rejuvenation and rebirth. As all things have endings, life also has new beginnings. Spring. It's just that when Aerith knowingly walked to her own execution, she knew that the coming spring, journey's end without promises, wouldn't be for her any more than it was for Aeris. For the people that she cherishes so much, Cloud, Zack, Tifa, Barrett, and all of her friends and family, for these people, decisions are driven by a question. She knows better than anyone on any Gaia. What would you do to save someone you love? Here is that poem, Rendezvous with Death by Alan Seeger.
I have a rendezvous with death at some disputed barricade, when spring comes back with rustling shade and apple blossoms fill the air. I have a rendezvous with death, when spring brings back blue days and fair. It may be he shall take my hand and lead me into his dark land and close my eyes and quench my breath. It may be I shall pass him still. I have a rendezvous with death, on some scarred slope of battered hill, when spring comes round again this year, and the first meadow flowers appear. God knows 'twere better to be deep, pillowed in silk and scented down, where love throbs out in blissful sleep, pulse nigh to pulse and breath to breath, where hushed awakenings are dear. But I've a rendezvous with death, at midnight in some flaming town, when spring trips north again this year. And I to my pledged word am true, I shall not fail that rendezvous.